Hello, it's a beautiful Wednesday morning on Your View. Welcome to the show. I am Murayo Afolabi Brown. As always, I have my lovely co-host here. Hi, ladies.
Good morning. Good
morning. How you guys doing? How was your Salah? That's the first question I'm going to ask anyway.
Salah was interesting. It was quiet. No meat, not one piece. But I ate chicken. We thank God for life.
I don't like meat, so I don't really care that I didn't have meat because I actually saw meat. But
where did you see meat? Meat was very scarce this Salah.
No. The party I went to on Monday, I told you now, there was plenty meat. Then I went to my friend's house yesterday.
And there was meat.
Even the other party that I was supposed to go to, I missed that one.
TVC
where there was meat too.
I think that
I ended up at my friend's place and
there was meat.
But I didn't eat meat.
This Salah was serious recession Salah.
Wow.
People that expected serious meat, everybody was just rationing their meat.
TVC has 4 cows outside.
Usually TVC sends us,
but those cows are going to die of hunger. You won't tell them because they are not feeding them.
Interestingly,
the cows are even weak.
They usually send us about quite a number of rams, right? And they give to directors. And what the directors usually do is that we cook it at home and we bring some to the staff and all that. We share it. But this year, nothing like that. They brought us, I think, 2 or 3 cows.
They are 4, but they are dying.
No, they're not dying. They're eating that they're okay.
They are hungry. I saw them yesterday.
Thank you. How was your own Salah, Jari?
I finally was able to eat ram meat yesterday.
Yes, Mrs. Soneko, thank you.
Thank you for hosting us so well. I had my cooler of rice. Because I came prepared.
Yoruba.
I went with my cooler because I felt that I'll ask for food and they'll say, hey, take away Langwa. I said, okay, don't worry, I have cooler in the car.
Yoruba girl.
I was prepared.
So who is Mrs. Shoneko? She didn't invite
She was our guest on Monday.
And she invited all of us actually. You weren't on the show.
But nobody told me.
So you people did not tell her when you were going yesterday?
Sorry.
They didn't tell me. That's how they do.
I realized that I have toothache. I need to see a dentist because I couldn't really enjoy the meat because my teeth is in need of
may your teeth fall out as you didn't call me.
All
right, but thank God for that. At least I'm happy for that we had a good Salah. Everybody,
yeah.
At least I was happy that there wasn't too much excess meat because last year excess meat galore.
So
but
the
this year,
was
one
3
piece
days.
of meat. Everybody one piece. Before 3 pieces of meat. Now everybody just wondering how much that is. But thank God for Mrs. Joneko.
And thank God for life because people shouldn't complain that they couldn't do what they would have done. They shouldn't be forced and compelled to do what they cannot afford.
Exactly.
So you went to eat.
We have a news mention. We have a news mention. Don't worry, I had fun. I'm detoxing. This is detox tea. News mention today. Concerts, that's our TV arm, our cable arm, will be distributing free decoders. What did I say? Free decoders at the Ojude-Oba Festival, right? The venue is Ekpe Recreation Ground, Ekpe, and it will be at 9 Akeson Street. Akeson Street, Oriba Town, Ekpe local government by 10 a.m. today. So if you're in Ekpe area, do try to meet our concert team there. They'll be there to give you free decoders. I think of course the terms and conditions will apply. They have about 3 new channels, X2D, Tribute TV, and 320. And they're going to have also NT, I think, is the new channel they have there. So it's a fun time. Please come out and join our members, our colleagues there to pick up your own concert decoder. So now we're going to take a break. When we return, my kids started school today. The veggies started. It was so cute seeing them in their uniforms. I took pictures, don't worry. So we had fun there, but that's why I was late today. But I'm happy. I just thank God for their lives. Let's take a break. When we come back, we'll go through the front pages of the newspaper. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Mr. Lemmy's coming to fight you. The Punch. Aviation crisis deepens as ARIC suspends operations. Federal government may intervene, says the ministry official. Picture here of children having great time at Ikeja Mall. That mall was crowded yesterday. 8-month-old girl, 2 others die in Lagos fire. Okonjo-Iweala may never be found guilty of fraud, says Judah. Herdsmen defy minister, move cows on FCT roads. $15 million in my account for medical bills and others, says patients, Jonathan. 52 died in Salah crashes, 40 penalized, says FRSC. Senate will advise Buhari to sack incompetent ministers, says Saraki.
We can't wait.
All right, so that's the major headline about who wants to take the Salah story?
Yes, I want to take the Salah story. A lot of accidents. The FRSC said that they arrested 933 persons were involved in crashes, 425 others were injured just over this 2-day Salah period. Wow. They also mentioned the fact that a total of 10,000 officers and marshals were drafted to cover the period, investigate what is going on over that period and reduce the number of crashes. Sadly, 52 lives were lost, and I think that we need to learn from, we keep saying this over and over again, that when you go to parties, don't drink. When you travel, don't overspeed. The roads are bad. We all know that the roads are bad, so you don't want to jump into potholes. But I'm happy that they are on top of the game. They were able to oversee the situation. You want to take a story now?
Major headline, because all the major headlines are actually different. So let's take the major headline in Punch. The aviation, Arik is suspended.
Sad.
I mean, yes. Everybody would have wanted to travel back to their individual destinations yesterday. Critical time. Yesterday that you want to go back to work.
They couldn't because of insurance. Their excuse is insurance, not jet fuel. Jet fuel is other airlines.
International airlines
that cannot buy it here because it's gone up to 400 from 220. It was 120 before per liter, then it went up to 220. Now because of the dollar, it's 400.
So the international flight.
So they are preferring to.
And you cannot stop the insurance. The insurance is important because if anything goes wrong,
statutorily,
it's a compulsory fee that must be paid, and they couldn't pay it. So right now, another major headline,
that's a major
airline, major, is now suspended.
So Senator Ben Moribros yesterday spoke with the MD of Arike, and he promised that they'll be back in operations today. So I don't know if they're raising money, because Ben Bruce has always supported the airline that let's buy Nigerian, eat Nigerian. Yeah. So I don't know if they're raising the money to make sure this airline stays in business. But they promised to be back in business today.
Interestingly, this they did mention that Arik resumes operations after temporary suspension. So hopefully, because I was a bit confused when I saw the paper saying that they suspended.
Ben Bruce waited in on the matter.
No, they're even saying they would have paid it, but because of the 2-day Salah holiday, they couldn't pay.
But they also mentioned in the article that they have other bills they have not paid. They have not fixed some planes that have not been fixed. Maintenance should be done abroad, and they've not been fixed. So they really need money.
Let's hope they're back in business today.
Yes, so The Nation revealed how $22.3 million hits Jonathan wife's account. You need to read the breakdown here, because I can't even go through this breakdown. Of how millions of dollars, they're all in millions of dollars, yeah?
Millions.
Removed, deposited, transferred, carried here, carried there.
People should just buy the Nation this morning.
Just go buy the Nation and read, because you get the breakdown. Let's see. Buhari to Biafra agitators. Nigeria will remain one. Ex-president visits IBB and Abdusalami in Minna. And 2 killed, 9 injured in Ogun Road accident. We'll talk about Buhari a bit later. I think it's a major headline in Daily Sun. Who read Jonathan's story? Nobody read that.
I read Jonathan, the man's story.
The whalers are not interested in that kind of
thing.
She's
just saying that the money in the accounts are medical bills. And the AFCC people are saying, well, they didn't know it was hers because it was in the domestic staff. This not her own domestic staff, even another person's domestic staff. So there was no way they could have linked the money to her. So,
it was her herself that came out to say, because you froze my account.
Morayo, I think
the one that is her own, the one that was her own, they left it, the $5 million, so that $5 million, she should use that one for her medical expense. They're sure that it is enough for her medical
bills. Two sides to the story. This is a lady that said that we know, while she was the first lady of the country, she said she died 3 times. She died, and she was flown abroad, and she had extensive medical issues, that it was a miracle that she survived, according to her. She said those money were for her medical bill. However, she needs to respond to the fact that the monies were not in her name. If it was in her name, it's straightforward. It wasn't in her name, so she needs to clarify why she used somebody else's maid's account to save money.
She's the one that is running the account.
So she needs to clarify all that. So EFCC has the right to freeze the account.
Moving on.
How come the bank allowed that in the first instance?
The bank needs to respond to that also.
The suspects are also there in the bank. They're in the list of suspects of the investigation. Moving on very quickly to Vanguard. Recession. United Nations body research groups predict higher prices. See inflation to hit 17.8% in August and 20% by end of 2016. I inherited nothing. PDP lawmakers tackle Buhari. Jigawa, Emir, others. HIV/AIDS test for couples before marriage. That's in Jigawa. The Emir of Jigawa orders that. Picture here of our ex-president visiting IBB and General Abdul Salami.
Very
I
interesting.
have that story. I robbed to give my father a befitting burial. Says suspect. Masob at 17. Protests rock southeast as police arrest 14 in Onitsha. And foreign airlines forced to refuel abroad. We talked about that already. So you have the Jonathan story.
I have the Jonathan story, but the human angle story also attracted me. Mr. Eziogu from Oka in Enugu State, who went to rob. He was arrested alongside his accomplices, and his excuse was that he needed money to give his father a befitting burial, and his accomplices were saying that it's because of the economic hardship of the country that they stole. Two things. Everyone is feeling economic hardship, and that's not an excuse for crime. We should find more creative ways to survive the economy than stealing. Secondly, I think that we need to start to address some of our culture, and we have discussed it on this table, how because you want to meet up to the Joneses, you know, you think you need to go to crime. Exactly. If they were just burying the father by just putting him in the ground, saying a prayer, I don't think he would have that excuse.
That's why I'll forever love the Muslim burial. Sharp, sharp, pak, 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 done, bada bing, bada dong, you're done.
Me, I don't even understand. The money you didn't spend on your parents while they are alive.
You now want to spend on
It's a different topic. It's a different topic. We'll talk about that.
On the president's visit, and I don't know why. Ex-president's visit. Okay, so he visited former president IBB and then Abdul Salami, and there was a closed-door meeting. It was even mentioned that IBB entertained him in his private room upstairs as opposed to the normal area downstairs, and it was nobody knows what happened.
But
speculation is that it was about the election in Edo State, that PDP, the postponement of the election and the impact. That was what I read in the Sun.
What I read somewhere else was that he went to visit them, greet them for El Kabir, one, and secondly, possibly to talk about his wife's recent the investigation.
Being taken place. And in addition, in the Sun, it was reported that he also wanted that he didn't even mention his wife in the Sun. That's the speculation. What they said was he was going to discuss Delta PDP, Edo PDP crisis and the postponement of the election, and also his foundation, because he's coming up with a foundation. That's Jonathan's foundation, and he's been visiting major leaders, statesmen to inform them about it.
They don't even know what he visited
Nobody knows.
So they are just speculating. And he's allowed to visit who he wants.
Exactly. And it's Salah. We were looking for places to go.
Yes, and they are all PDP stalwarts now.
Daily Sun. Buhari opens up on Biafra again. We fought civil war to keep Nigeria one. Tells Igbo youth to forget agitation. Why Jonathan met IBB and Abdul Salami. Another airline Arik suspends operations. Militants blow up pipeline in Delta State. And Biafra, Masob, BIM, defy police, shut down southeast. Okay, so Buhari on Biafra, who read that article?
I read the Masob. You want to talk about the story?
Can you just quickly establish the story that 100 core members went to go and visit the president during yesterday for Salah, and he was saying to them that they should tell their contemporaries to forget Biafra. To forget Biafra, that he was a soldier during the Biafran war. He walked miles and miles across Nigeria.
30 months. And there was no oil at that time.
And that Biafra wasn't about oil.
It was just about keeping Nigeria one. So now that there is even oil, you should forget about it.
Yes, Dr.
So Masob's story is also a case of agitation. Same thing with the Biafra, but Masob was marking their anniversary, 17 years. They started September 13th, 1999 by Ralph Wazurike, and defying the military and the police and all the people that gathered together. They made a protest. They said that 4 people lost their lives because there were shootings sporadically, and about 32 people were injured. But the police is saying that nobody lost their lives, that they knew some were injured, but that nobody lost their lives.
Moving on.
Yes, this day, it's our final paper. We might not be able to discuss it. Senate to investigate recession, as Saraki calls for collaboration on economy. And Konjo-Iweala suggests way forward. Forget Biafra, Buhari tells separatist agitators. And 3 months after force majeure, ExxonMobil resumes export. And CBN warns Nigerians against investing in wonder banks. I've told my friends, stop this wonder bank thing. You collect money and you collect whatever, they will give you, maybe double of it or triple of it later.
Yeah.
Yes.
Quickly, the major headline, Saraki says that when they resume, they're going to investigate why we're in a recession after the amount of budgetary allocations in the 2016 budget. And former Minister of Finance, Okonjo-Iweala, suggested that we need to effectively handle the spiraling inflation, foreign exchange problem, fiscal deficits, and debt control as key to resolving the current economic crisis.
All right, so that's all we can take on this front page review right now. Up next on Hot Topics is hunger. Will hunger last longer than expected in Nigeria? Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Welcome back. The Minister of Agriculture and Rural Development, Chief Audu Ogbe, stated that hunger, as well as the economic recession Nigerians are currently experiencing, may last longer than expected. However, he noted that the situation might be salvaged if Nigerians pursue farming vigorously. Now, what are your thoughts on this? You can call us on 070-8066-8014. You can tweet to us at TVC Connect. Please hashtag Your View TVC, and I'm not going to let Jumoke jump in yet.
I'm tired. I'm
Are you
tired of
tired?
hearing, let's pursue farming vigorously. Every time there's an economic recession or any crisis in Nigeria, we just remember how to pursue farming vigorously. I would rather it tells me specifically what procedure he has, what policies he has pushed that would make us farm easily. Okay, so what do we eat on a daily basis? Our staple: rice, bread, yam, potatoes, things like that. Beans. Those are our staple. How many of them are being imported? What is your plan to ensure that we are consuming what is locally made? How have you made the environment conducive for those that are producing currently? Are farms available for coppers? Can a copper say that, okay, 3 of us we want to go into farming? How do they get farm? How do they get funded? Can they decide to do it? Is the environment conducive and encouraging them to do it?
Information is available. People just don't go look for it. You want to sit in your house and somebody now feed you the information. You can go find these things online.
No, but they feed us with this information all the time. They tell us, go to farming. So as you saying go farming, tell us this is how you go farming. Because you can't tell us to tighten our belts, that things are not going to be convenient, that the hunger might last for a longer time. The bag of rice will go from 23,000 naira now to probably 40,000 naira in the next future. And you're not telling us how you are encouraging people, silos, to ensure that you're protecting the rice that are produced.
Don't preach the gloomy picture. Tell us what.
Especially when earlier in the year he said he wanted to import grass. Like, I'm wondering.
Let's not go back there.
We can't avoid it.
You see, he said this in Abakaliki, in Ebonyi State. What I want to say is that governor is the one to be commended, because he is the one that is now pushing. Apparently, Abakaliki rice is one of their main.
Abakaliki rice.
And so he's now given some people hectares of land just to farm. He's given schools so that schools will now start to farm, teach their children farming.
I think that's important. I think they're being very pragmatic, which is really important. That's for that governor. But the Minister of Agriculture now telling us we must be buying rice for 40,000 naira if we don't take farming rigorously. And I think we should see the good news in that, where people know that we need to go into farming. But you're right, tell us how, but let people stop looking for the blue-collar job. It's important that young people are aware of the importance. We need to start feeding ourselves. Even sausages. We import sausages. What are we doing with processing? So he has a point, but let's not sweep it under the carpet saying, oh, we hear this picture all the time. But Jumoke, come on in.
3 questions for Minister Audu Ogbe. Does he remember that the governor of Ebonyi State, where he's telling people that the hunger may last longer, was the same governor who bought SUVs for State House of Reps members? if I was a farmer being talked to by the minister, I'll be saying, how come human beings are going to go hungry when they are buying, these same representatives are being bought cars for? How come human beings are going to go hungry when you are importing grass to feed cattle? These cattle, you haven't told us, maybe they are going to be giving us for free, or the headsmen are going to be paying taxes. Also, he mentioned in his statement that the hunger will be because the previous government did not save. They focused mainly on oil. Minister Audu Ogbe was PDP chairman from 2001 to 2005. He has been a politician for 37 years. When he was senator, he's from Benue State. Did he say that, this Abakaliki rice, that is our local rice, can we make laws to ensure that in the next 10 years, we'll be exporting after feeding in excess rather than importing? As a minister, this year he's importing grass.
I can answer you.
Go ahead.
He has become born again.
Okay.
Right. Okay.
So Benue is known as the food basket of Nigeria and is representing that area. When he was appointed, people were complaining he's really old. What has he done when he was young? How well has he mentored people while he was there, when he was in all those positions he occupied? But when you come up now to talk to young people about hunger, about work, we want you to lead by example, and I'm waiting to see what has been done. But I don't want to wish away all the good things that he might have planned, because I know that BOI is giving money to agricultural people to sponsor agriculture. You see, when they say change starts with me, going back to what we're moving with now, I want to see my leaders sacrifice polished imported rice and say that they are also going to be eating locally made rice.
Okay, I hear you. Said that. But you see, remember, let us not forget that Venezuela is going through something similar as we're going through right now.
They are a mono economy.
Yes.
You can't compare Venezuela
hang in there. Let me make my point. The point I'm trying to make is that hunger is real.
Yeah.
God forbid we are faced with that situation. So instead of constantly saying, oh, they, let us remember we are the ones that will go hungry. So you know what? Even if it is growing tomatoes, let us take this issue of agriculture very, very seriously.
We're not joking about it.
No. May I respond to the Venezuela issue to say that the program was called One Man, One Hectare, encouraging people to go back to the farm. And I applaud the minister and the governor for this. What I have problems with is the narrative of telling us that it's because the former government did not say. Because you were a part of that former government. Going back to the Venezuela issue, they are dependent on oil. Oil is 13% of our own GDP. We have agri, we have entertainment, we have fashion, we have other industries.
No,
we shouldn't be comparing.
We are also
Nigeria.
a mono,
we are
especially
mono.
in revenue.
In revenue.
We have
revenue.
Yes, absolutely. The same thing. They have one
economy.
But the point
outside of oil.
The point I was trying to make was not how many sectors they have. The point I was trying to make was make us realize that hunger is real, and God forbid you get into that situation, we can become what they are right now. So let us stop focusing on what the government can do and think of what we can do. But let me take this call first. Hang in there, YK. Hello, are you there?
Hello.
Good morning. Please go ahead.
Good morning.
Thanks for calling.
You're welcome. Sorry, to contribute to what the wine talk just said. She said something about how is this government trying to help the youth in terms of embarking on agriculture and production of things like that. What I would like to say is I'm just a fresh graduate, just graduating from school, and with my other colleagues, we're planning to go into.
Okay, sorry, lost that call.
Please, Venezuela, I watched a documentary about them and I was shocked at the hunger, how they couldn't even get normal diapers that they have available. And we're gradually getting there based on the fact that, like it or not, mono economy or no mono economy, the only thing that brings dollar into this country is oil. Yeah. And that's the problem they had. So they couldn't import the luxury items they were used to and they were not producing it. So agriculture is one part, but the other things, basic milk, they couldn't get. So we must guard ourselves to ensure that we don't get to that point. But we've seen Uwa among us who is farming and trying to access what they say is available and how hard it's been for her to access it. So as much as we want to encourage people to go into farming, we need to hold the government accountable in doing their part to ensure they make it easy for farmers to make it work.
Yeah, I just want to say, even if we are a mono economy, Nigerians, whether we like it or not, are actually going and doing things themselves. Exactly. Because if we are relying on the government, we will all be hungry.
Exactly.
Everybody has his own business or his own. It is the government that comes to come and say, okay, this is your money that you are making. I will tax you. I will collect everything from you. Government comes to now be harassing us that are even trying to be independent.
How can you say that? Sorry, I wanted to correct her impression. How can you say that we're a mono economy, the only thing bringing dollars? How much the gold sold illegally in Nigeria earned last year?
Illegal.
Yes,
that's illegal.
Because you're not diversifying your economy.
Why is it illegal? Why can't they sell gold?
I have a call.
They've not done that yet.
Hang in there. Can I take this call? Good morning, are you there?
So it's not the only thing making dollars.
It's the major thing making dollars.
But that's
it's what they focus on.
but that is what is happening.
That's the major thing that's bringing us money. Hello, are you there? I can't get the call. He's not there. Hello, are you there?
Yes, I'm there.
Please go ahead.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with what Mrs. Tokwemak is saying.
Yes, go ahead, please.
I'm going to agree with what Mrs. Tokwemak is saying. She's right about saying that we don't have, like now, we are saying yes, we are going to get hungry if we don't pursue agriculture seriously. There are no places for us to farm. There's no way we can move. Everywhere, construction. Where is this farm for us to participate in agriculture? We will continue to get, but we cannot boost our local products. Everything we had imported. Now we're going to completely ban importation. Everything is rising. We cannot blame the last government because most of our ministers have been there. What have they been doing? Right. Now we completely ban importation. At least even if we are going to ban it, we would have started little by little, not completely banning everything. Moving around, you see that people are so hungry. Okay. Right from 7,000 to 13,000, now to 23,000. I really think our problem is with our government.
Please, let me
and in my house, they can eat rice.
Please, I need to clarify something because you see, when you say that we're not the issue we have with oil, buying PMS right now, that's petrol, is that they want to increase the price because they can't get dollars. The Manufacturing Association of Nigeria are complaining that they can't get dollars to import raw material. The only way they get dollars, basically in Nigeria right now, is from oil revenue. So how do you define mono economy?
I don't want to argue on this.
I know. What we are saying is there are other things that they can.
So they should do the policies.
I don't want us to have a debate. This is not a debate. The idea is for us to express our views on the issue, but we have to round up. Unfortunately, let's take a break. When we come back, we'll switch over to the next segment on the implications of the federal government's plan to borrow loans from the World Bank, China, and Japan. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Welcome back. Now, according to reports that we read, the federal government has approved plans for external loans from the World Bank, China, and Japan. This loan includes low-cost and long-term loans with the interest rates of about 1.25%. The maturity is supposed to be in 20 years. Now, what are the implications? When we hear loans, everybody gets scared. So what exactly are the implications? Joining us on the show is the head research, Express Discount Assets Management, Mr. Oluwashino Olubu. Welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you very much.
You can call us on 070-8066-8014. You can tweet to us at TVC Connect. Please hashtag YourViewTVC. Right, you've been hearing what we're discussing. Everybody's worrying about diversifying the economy. How do we jumpstart this economy? Okonjo-Iweala was talking earlier on what we need to do. Now we're hearing the government saying we might get loans to help jumpstart this economy. Obviously, there's no money. So what are your thoughts? Is this a good idea, or where do you think the government is heading with this move?
Thank you very much. The first thing to even say is to look at the idea of whether it is wrong or right to go about debt. First of all, debt at whatever level is cheaper than equity. Okay. That's to start with. Whether at micro level, or at business level, or even at national level, it's cheaper to get there. That's one. Two, what makes debt bad or wrong is what you are getting loan for. Are you getting loan for self-aggrandizement, or what you are trying to do, you spend it on something that will end up being liability to you, or salaries, or you are spending loan or debt on something that will end up repaying the debt. Now, if what you are getting the loan for, you are putting them into infrastructure, road, which are going to impact on businesses, and of course, it's going to impact the bottom line of the government and economy generally. And then, so that way is going to for me, debt is going to be a good loan. If you want to come in, or you want me to?
No, go ahead.
Just now, that's one. Then two, for Nigeria, we are between a rock and a hard place as far as loan is concerned. If you're not getting loan, what do you want to get? How do we fund the economy? Because to start with, we are in recession. Now, we are in recession, and when you are in recession, the ideal thing to do, even in my first year of economics, as an economics student, you know that when you are in recession, what you are supposed to pursue is expansionary fiscal and monetary policy, in which case you have to do a deficit budget, which means you're going to spend. Now, something happened in 1929 and 1930, where you have world depression. Now, the advice that was given by John Maynard Keynes was that the government should spend itself out of poverty. Spend as much as possible. It does not matter whether you are borrowing it or you have the money. Now, spending is as important as not minding what you are spending for. I'll tell you this. He said, if it requires you to employ people in the money to dig ditches, pay them in the money, let them go. In the afternoon, get another set of people to fill it up and pay them. The idea is this: get money in the pockets of people, and so that they can buy and begin to demand for
goods and services.
Yes.
Okay, so you mentioned monetary and fiscal policies. The first time Nigeria went to China to seek for a loan, it seemed as if we didn't have a concrete plan on how we want to invest the loan. Do you think that Nigeria economically, considering our economic team and what you've heard so far of policies that have been made, is on the right track to properly invest the money brought in that will not indebt us as a country? That's one. Two, the loan is planned to be repaid back in 20-25 years. Do you think that we would have had a ripe turnover with that investment to get to be able to afford to pay back that loan? Three.
No. Let me finish, please. That's the first one and two.
Quite frankly, I do not think that we have done the things that we need to do in terms of having the right structure in place to ensure that debts are properly harnessed and channeled, so to speak. Because first of all, if you look at the breakdown of the budget is supposed to have 2.2 trillion deficit. And we are supposed to get about 900 billion of that from outside the country, the balance being within the economy. Now, I'm going somewhere. Now, the breakdown of the budget says that 1.4 trillion will go to debt servicing, which means they are not going into any pocket. They are not going to infrastructure. We are paying back debts.
Yes, 25% of our budget.
Of the budget. Now, just 26% of the budget is going to development, which means that about 3 point something trillion will go into salaries
and allowances,
fleets of cars, travels, accommodation,
feeding the presidency,
which for me is overly wasteful. So, which has been an albatross in the last few years. So, until we have a complete departure from these frivolities, we will end up spending borrowed funds on recurrent expenditure, which is not good for us, because it means that we will keep borrowing to spend. So we are consuming a nation and we don't produce.
Okay, so what can we do differently? You were saying that other sectors of our GDP that bring in dollars, they're so minute to the amount of dollars that we need to spend. But if we plan, let's not look back to the future. If we plan that, if we start to develop all these other economies, that in maybe 4, 5, 6 years further down the line, we'll not be depending on just oil to bring in dollars again. We will start to even export many things like the palm kernel that the minister is farming now, rice and other things. How do we prevent this recession from lasting too long and prevent it in future?
Now, I think it starts from, or starts with the leadership. Sorry, but that's the truth. The leadership has got to show direction. They need to walk the talk. You don't tell people to brace up for hard times or other times, as the case may be, when you do not show that you are prepared for it as well. I expect that there should be massive cuts in government spendings. I do not expect a governor who is not paying salaries to keep going about with a fleet of cars.
Buying more.
That's gross insensitive. For me, you are not being sensitive to the reality of man. Now, I'm not saying that we should pass the buck. I understand the place of the lead in this whole issue. We need to be willing to pay a bit of sacrifice in all of these things. But then it begins with leadership. That's one. Then two, we need to let's get this loan first of all, because we don't have the money to spend. Murayo, excuse me. The fiscal deficit that was supposed to be 2.2 according to the budget, don't forget, was based on the fact that we were going to generate revenue of about 3 trillion. And that revenue we were planning to generate was based on
taxes?
No, production of 2.2 million per day. And if my memory serves me well, we have not, in the last 3 months, we have averaged 1.5. Which that's a massive cut in our revenue projection. Yes. Don't forget that. It's also based on $38 per barrel. That is the price. And if I remember very well, for a very long period, the oil price stayed around 20-something to 30.
We have now gone to 45.
Recovery. Unfortunately, we are not benefiting from that recovery because of we are being shortchanged from the production side. And no thanks to Niger Delta. Yeah. So, which means that the deficit figure might be expanded more than we thought it would be.
I wanted you to harp on the issue of going to China, because we're told that maybe the Chinese can come to our aid in this whole economic, helping us to build infrastructures, bring in their investors. The other time our president and his team went there, they came back, everything looked promising. You know, we're going to have yen, you know. What happens to all that?
Yen.
You know, instead of having the dollar as an alternative, so it weakens, to strengthen the naira, all sorts of promises then. What happened? Where are we now concerning that? Do you know any direction?
It's unfortunate that I remember I was invited by 2 TV stations and we discussed the impact. Quite frankly, if that thing was done, those ops of the supposed agreement, honestly, they are so real. Now, if instead of having to do a tripartite movement
from dollar to
yen, honestly, what you are doing basically is that, because the quantum of trade that we do with Chinese is huge. Now, I was in a report yesterday where they sent a report that our trade with China has reduced drastically because of an inability to get dollars. Now, it would have been a different story entirely if we could do naira yen without having to take the route of dollars. So, to answer your questions, I mean, nobody seems to know where we are on that.
Could it mean that maybe they're still in the planning stage and they will
eventually tell us?
Hopefully do it.
Let me shock you. When they came back, I said that I did not know what would be what the Chinese stood to gain from doing that. So I told myself that if they actually did that, that would be so magnanimous of them.
Because they are not a magnanimous.
I want to ask. They are not a charity country.
Okay, let's take a quick break. When we return, we'll
take questions
and comments on our Twitter. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Zaria. Welcome back. I think I have OJ from Zaria. Good morning, OJ. Are you there?
Yes, I'm there.
Please go ahead.
I actually want to salute the intellectual prowess of Olubu.
Yes, go ahead, sir. Thank you.
Yes, I'm there. Good morning.
Yes.
Yes, I actually want to salute the courage and intellectual prowess of Olubu. In fact, he has rightly said it all. But what we actually need to do as a country, the government needs to explain the modalities and the way forward concerning diversification. As it is now, few segments of the country are enjoying the benefit of support by the CBN, by the BOE, and the BOI. I'm telling you because of the experience in the north. The farmers there, they benefited more than the southern farmers. So if the government wants to start the issue of change the base with me, it means everybody needs to be involved. As it is now, it is a sectional thing. So let the Nigerian government come out openly to let us know what and what they actually need to do. Because a lot of people are suffering. There are hungers in the land, seriously.
All right.
The government needs to work out and need to spend as much as possible so that once they create jobs, these funds will circulate.
Okay. Thank you very much, OJ. Yes.
Babatunde Jola Osho says there's also no use borrowing money from external sources to pay external companies for infrastructure. Aldu Hosseini says Buhari's trip to China has turned a tortoise story of animals visiting heaven to celebrate with God. Adekoya Abolore says, what is Nigeria's foreign debt? What is the percentage of loan servicing in this year's budget? Omolaja says the government must muster courage to cut salaries and allowances of politicians, starting from the presidency down. It's outrageous.
Christian, obviously, says,
let me just respond to the total debt of Nigeria. I think that's a very valid thing. I was going to mention it. Nigeria, as we speak now, our total debt, both external and domestic, is approximately 11 trillion.
Dollars?
Now, no, naira.
Okay.
Now, of the 11 trillion naira, about 2 trillion is external.
Okay.
About 9 trillion is
internal.
domestic. And for this, as we speak, that's about the total, which is 11 trillion, is about 14% of our GDP, which for me is it's a threshold that is not alarming. We still have
they want to still sell more bonds right now.
Yeah. We still have the room to get more funds. That's for me is not alarming. Even the deficit of this year is about 2% of GDP.
Okay.
So yeah.
All right, Mike, let's take some tweets from you.
Okay. I beg you, how many agriculture extension programs do we organize if I'm hungry? I will show Niger pepper. This government can't funnel its entire population into agriculture when many people don't have passion for green-collar jobs. That's from Dada Olowo Eyo. Ogbe's comment is about APT. What's APT?
APT.
It's a pity between, but there are no structures to make farm easy.
Okay.
Land is big issue here.
That
was what I was going to say. Because we keep on saying farming. If you don't have the land to farm, what are you going to farm on cement?
See that stretch between Lagos and Ibadan Expressway all the way down. Is that not land?
Is it your own?
That's the thing.
You can't just go there and farm now.
So the government needs to give us the land,
let's
partition the land for us, and give Jumoke one, give me one, we'll go and farm.
That we're on the right track concerning agriculture, as in terms of as another source of making revenue for the country?
To be candid, when this government came in, we had a bit of, because of the slowdown in the way they took off and the delay in the budget passage, we have seen, we have retrogressed a bit compared to how things were shortly before the end of the
end of the Jonathan administration.
Because we're seeing some traction in terms of policies, agricultural extension, and what have you. So, but this man happens, I mean, Audrey is been in agriculture, so I expect that it will bring his experience
Wealth of
to bear,
experience.
and then we can see some
Okay,
things
let me
going
take
forward.
Janet. Janet from Mushin. Are you there?
Yes.
Good morning. Please go ahead.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm Janet from Mushi.
Yes, please
What
go
I
ahead.
want to say is, I'm a 400-level student from Nnamdi Azikiwe University, and I'm a cultural student. You're asking us to go to farm. You're not giving us anything. When Jonathan was there, I know our lecturers will always call us and give us maize, will give us fertilizer, and make sure we go to farm. But now, since the change and everything, nothing has come up. And you're asking me to go to farm. Am I supposed to go? Okay, we have so many plots of land in our school. When we go to our lecturers and we beg them, we want to use part of the farm. They will ask us, they will have to write to the GC. I've done so many things that they'll read. And you're asking me, well, as I am now, 400-level student, I can't say that we don't do practicals, we don't do anything. They don't give us anything at all.
So that's the
And
future
you're
of
asking us
agri.
to go to farm. How do we do?
All right. Thank you,
You see,
Janet.
that is what I keep saying, that when you keep saying, let us farm, if there is no, if there are no
Policies.
to make people farm, you just be saying agriculture. So it's lip service, just paying lip service to agriculture.
All right.
I want to ask about the Japan part of the story, because we've seen partnerships by Japan with other West African countries and how they bring in intellectual development and capacity for our people, how they teach us, how they do. The partnerships seem to be less money, but more of grooming the people and human resources, while China tends to give more money. Do you think we can get resources from both of them at the same time? There won't be conflict of interest from both parties, or do you think we should concentrate on one country than the other?
And aside from that, I want to add to that also. World Bank, when we hear World Bank, we get scared, because World Bank probably are the ones that got us to where we are right now in the beginning, back during the university period. So why are we going to World Bank? I mean, do you think it's a good idea to go to World Bank?
Well, so for me, where you are going to, if it's even World Bank is safer than any country you can think of. I mean, just to answer that,
Okay.
because a Japan or a China, we think of their own interest first.
True.
That's to start with. The second thing is to now come back to what you were trying to say. The China and Japan, I don't think they are mutually exclusive. It's all about the clauses you have in the agreements that you sign, how much of the clauses that will ensure that you have transfer of know-how and because resources anybody can. So, but we really can tap from the technological know-how of China and even China, you know. So even the US cannot wish away the strength of the Chinese economy as we speak. So I think we should just tap as much as we can from whatever thing we are doing with them.
Listen to it.
Peter Aldo says the collection of the loan is not the bone of contention at this economy downturn, but it's the utilization of the loan. Adora says the right phrase would have been, change begins with us. The leaders are to show good examples for us to emulate. Samuel Joseph says, farming is not with hoe and cutlass. Where are the machines? These people are not even serious. Books and Truth said, are we all farmers? Yes. And thank God for the climate, but we don't all have flair.
I know the Ebonyi State government, they had bought tractors and all these farming machines, you know. So, I mean, they are taking it seriously. And I think other states should try and emulate
What they're doing.
I mean, Lagos State cannot, because
We don't have
But we-
land.
No,
We
we
don't
bought
have
land,
land.
though.
We
Our
have
trust
land.
of Nambode.
Yeah.
We has bought land elsewhere.
No, we're partnering with Kebbi.
Kebbi State, yes.
So we are providing the infrastructure and the money. They're providing the land and the
but
farmers.
we can do
And
fishing.
I must
Fishing
commend.
too is part of
I
farming.
must commend Lagos State. I have a secondary school leaver that I trained in makeup, and she wants to go into agriculture based on the fact that she was the best in agriculture in SS3. And they did an excursion last year, taking all best agri students to their farm in Ekpe to make them see what agriculture is all about and inspire them to do it. And it's working. So the government should not just talk about it. Do some small actions.
Okay, all right. So please give us land, give us
The machinery.
Even if you give me land, I don't know how to farm.
And aside from that, the other
Processing.
yes, and the other parts of
Yeah.
farming, the packaging is important, the transportation, is
the value
important.
chain.
The value chain must be, we
Yeah.
can address it.
Sorry, just let me.
Yes,
I
please.
think the value system has to be addressed when we are ready. Yeah, it's got to be. It begins with value system, how much of Gucci am I ready to let go? How much of
so the change starts with us.
With us.
So, okay, you go and start let go of your
And
issues.
in fact, the president's wife sell her own bag first. Once I see it, I will now.
No, let your ex-president Jonathan come release that $24 million that she can first. When she does that, then we'll give her the remaining. All right, that's all we can take on the show. Don't forget, concert is in Ekpe. If you're in Ekpe, please go see them. I already get the address. I gave you the address earlier. Ojidi Oba Festival. Yes, please go there. We are there to give out free decoders. All right. Have a lovely day. See you tomorrow. Bye bye.